It is such an honor and pleasure to be here this evening for our November normal meeting. And we are just so blessed and so grateful to have an amazing person with us who definitely, we understand the plight of what he has sadly experienced. Here in the United States, there are 200,000 people with non-violent possession crimes. And I feel that we as NORML have supported the outreach of an amazing nonprofit organization called Last Prisoner Project. And it was through their diligence, their heart-caring commitment to supporting this gentleman from being released. He is, I've been honored to meet him. He is truly a gentle spirit that shouldn't have been in there. And, you know, he had less than 3 pounds and they gave him such a heinous sentence. But he is out living a great life in Flint, Michigan now. And I know a lot of us know his name because we wrote letters. We put the word out there on his plight. And I just have to give a heads up to Vincent for all the work that she's done with the prisoners who are unjustly in prison. But tonight with us, and a free man, and he deserves to be a free man, we have the amazing Michael Thompson. Michael, welcome to OC NORML's meeting here this evening. Again, we are so blessed to have you with us. Thank you. And we won't keep you long because it's late for you. And I know you're used to getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning still. So.
That's right. It's an honor. It's an honor. It could have been 1 o'clock in the morning, as long as we speaking about something that can save some lives and can help somebody else. Like somebody helped me, just like you mentioned, Last Prisoner Project. They was instrumental, as well as Shine King, and as well as Bob Dodge of UBAKE. They've been really helping me stay alive from day to day and keeping everything together, as well as Cresco Lab. That's the reason why I can't be upset at the marijuana people, you know, dispensaries and stuff like that, because those are the ones been helping me since I've been out. And see, so in all marijuana people that's in prison should be free. They shouldn't be having nobody in prison for marijuana. I mean, it don't take no rocket science to know that marijuana ain't killed nobody. You know what I'm saying? So why you still got people in prison for that? You know, that's what I want to ask whoever responsible for keeping them people in prison for marijuana. I want to ask them, what is your reason for keeping them in prison? And marijuana ain't killed nobody, it's legal now. And people making millions of dollars off of billions of dollars, really. Okay, but my thing is, I'm speaking about not only marijuana, I'm speaking about the justice system, the broken justice system. It's all the way broken. And I know because I still spent 26 years, you know, saying dealing with it, you know, and I know how broken the system is. And my thing is the trap, what I call the trap. The trap is giving them guys a good time, let them earn their way back to society. The habitual offender, get rid of that, revisit that. Because that's ridiculous. How you stacking charges on people and you put them in prison just like you did me, and put all them years on me. And the felony murder, you know, guys that didn't kill nobody, didn't have no intentions of killing nobody, but then you got them in prison. They've been in prison for 45, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? And those is not no killers. They had no intentions of killing nobody, but because they went in there with a trigger happy person and he killed someone, now they've been in prison all these years, they ain't killed no one. And these are good people, I know them. I spent many years with them. And I know what they do. And these is guys now, the young guys coming in prison, they call them OGs. They call them OGs and they can go back to their community and do well. do real well, and because these young kids look up to them like they a father, like their fathers in there. You used to see them, and but they call them OGs. But well, they called me OG in there, and they listen to me. But the thing is they got to fix this system, because you talking about human beings. You throw away the key, and these people is good people. They human beings and they good people. And see, that's the reason why I'm not no policy maker, but I know one thing: they did studies on the justice system and the things I'm speaking about now. The good time, the habitual offender, the felony murder, they didn't did studies on this. And what happened to all the millions of dollars of the studies that they done on this broken justice system in America? What have they done with the millions of dollars? Every 10 years, they come up with another study and spend millions of dollars paying somebody to do the study. And then they know what the problem is, but they never do anything about it. They constantly put money in somebody's pocket, and they never do anything about it. Okay, now, my thing is, I was talking to Dee Kirkwood today, and I was telling her about how I'm trying to get me I already got me a brand new washer, and I'm getting me a brand new dryer, to match up with the brand new washer. I know when I be speaking about different things like that, I know you all just look at it like, oh, he talking about a washer, a dryer, but you don't understand. Right before I come out of prison, I wash my clothes in the toilet stool, because the washing machine breaks in there. They don't be in a hurry to get it fixed. And they don't be in a hurry. So what you supposed to do with your dirty clothes? And they don't be in a hurry, and they let your dirty clothes pile up. They don't care. And then when you start talking about writing a grievance, they say, well, write a grievance on it. A grievance, what is that? That's a joke to them. You go to them asking for a grievance, and they say, how many you want? And spell my name right. They don't have no fear of the consequences of their action. The healthcare is a joke. Look at me, I'm walking with a cane because I had hip surgery, because for 14 years, I cried about the pain I was in. I didn't know where the pain was coming from. Then I got out, Bob Dodge, a U-bait, made one phone call to a specialist. And he told me, sent me to the specialist, and they seen it. He said, you got to have surgery. And it was so bad that now I got to have surgery on my knee, because I was depending on this one leg so much. Now I got to. They're supposed to schedule me for another surgery, which I hate. I don't want to go up into that no more, because this is my first time going up into surgery, and the anesthesia and all that. Saying that was too much for me. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is the healthcare is nothing. They sent me back for many years. I'm crying for pain, and they sent me back and told me to take a Tylenol. That's their favorite word, take a Tylenol. And the food is garbage, straight up garbage. And when I get out and start tasting food, and then people see me on my Instagram, they see I'm enjoying myself eating food and enjoying it and having fun with the food. That ain't no fake, that's real. You know what I'm saying? I really love my freedom. And man, and I just wish I could have been free much sooner. And I look at all the people I left behind, just like I said, when I was leaving, I still hear the voices in my head. I'm gonna quickly speak about this because I get emotional every time I speak about it. But when I was leaving, I hear the voices in my head still today. And I hear them say, Michael, and then, well, most of them call me Miko. It's a Miko, man, tell the truth. Man, don't believe us, man. Go out there and tell the truth. And that's what I've been doing, telling the truth. And I developed this slogan every time I am speaking to someone. I develop a slogan. I say, all you got to do is care. That's all you got to do. And you can figure it out if you truly do care. You know, I'll be looking back at everybody taking credit for different things for me. But the real truth is, you know, I walked through this Amy Povich. She introduced me to I don't know if you know her, but her name Amy Povich. She introduced me to Tana, the one who wrote the Rolling Stones on me, and then Intercept. And then when she written that Intercept, that's when the ball got to rolling. That's when Shine King came involved. That's when the Kardashian girl got me the lawyer, Kim Kardashian. And that's when everybody, Montel Williams and everybody, Chelsea Hanna, Snoop Dogg, that's when everybody started jumped on board. Everybody jumping on board. Everybody was jumping on board. Then Dee Dee Kirkwood, she was the orchestrator. Hey, when it was dark outside, she was still there. You know what I'm saying? And she was the main one that kept everybody together. And then when you you got the people with that GoFundMe thing, Chelsea Satula, she walked me right through it. Then you got people like that helped me when I got out through the credit union. I didn't know anything about bills. I didn't know anything about anything. I was lost. I was lost about everything. I was like a baby. And then Didi walked me through it, said, hey, wait a minute, we're all the way from California. And talked to her on the phone, she guided me and helped me. And see, so, and then Last Prisoner Project come in. And they drove me around, helped me like a baby, when I'm coming out of prison. And when I was coming out of prison, if you watch me when I first came out, I was doing like this. And then they said, you free. And I was saying to myself, am I really free? Because I was lost. I'm listening to the car talking to, Sarah. I'm not listening to the car talking to her, and I'm looking at what's this thing? Telling them where to go, and we're at our destination now. It sounded like I was in an airplane or something. And so it just, everything is new to me. And just like I said about the washer and stuff, but I'm gonna get my washer, I'm gonna get my dryer. But as soon as I get it, I'm gonna have it on Instagram, and I'm gonna be enjoying. I want to wash my own clothes. I don't want nobody to wash my clothes. I want to wash my own clothes. I want to wash everything. I want to wash your clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just want to wash mine. I want to wash the sheets, the blankets. I want to wash everything.
Michael, I wanted to know, you mentioned all these things, but we as OC NORML, I know that some of us would like to know what we can do to move this along and bring this to light and assist in making some positive changes. Do you know what we can do?
Yes. You could bring your voice up to things that really counts, that is really needed. One is, just like I said, the good time. The other one is, I said, habitual offender. You need to revisit, get rid of that. There's people trapped. That's the trap. That's how they trap. They trapped in these things, what I'm naming you. they don't know when they're going to get any help. They don't know when they're going to get out. Because, you know, some of the people got, see, when you get a long-term sentence, you don't see the parole board until your minimum. You know what I'm saying? You don't see, I didn't supposed to see the parole board to 2038.
Wow.
So that's going to show you, it's a trap. They call it a trap. And that's what the bitch offender is, a trap. Felony murder is a trap. They got caught up in a trap until somebody helped them, like yourself. So somebody help them, they're gonna be stuck in the trap. And I know them guys. Yeah. I know, you got a lot of bad people in prison. You got a lot of bad people, but you got a lot of good ones too.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You won't just, because you got a bunch of bad ones, but you want to, what about the good ones? What about the ones that recognize they made a mistake and they want to correct their mistake? What about those? Are those the lost ones? Those are the ones that's caught into what I call the trap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not no policy maker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no motivational speaker. I'm not no politician. I'm just a prisoner, you know what I'm saying? A person that got out of prison, spent a lot of years in prison, and want to tell you the truth. That's all I am. And I want to tell you the truth, and then for whoever listening, if you can help change some of these things I'm speaking about, please do.
Well, I know we as OC NORML will continue to do what we can to support, the unjustness of incarceration. And I know that it's late for you. We don't want to keep you too long, but if anybody had any news or information, do you have an Instagram page they can reach out to you and get you a message?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the funny thing about it is, now you ask me, what is my Instagram page? And did he know all that? I don't know. Listen, I'm just learning about this phone. I'm still trying to keep with that. I'm lost. You ask me what my telephone number is, that'll be embarrassment.
Okay, I can get that from Dee.
Yes.
And we can post that through our website and everything. And just so if anything came up and any suggestions people had, and I know we're going to keep our focus and diligence to bring this to light, and so that we can help others and hopefully change some of the deplorable conditions of the legal aspects, the food, just everything. But I know one thing, all of us here at NORML are feeling so blessed to have heard your words and to know that you are doing fine. So again, we are just so honored to have you with us. And we hope that we can continue to keep in touch with you and have you on again in the future.
I just want to let you know you sound like an angel. But anyway,
He was our angel.
Anyway, I just had to say that because that's the first thing that came to me when you were speaking. I said, listen to the angel speak, and so, but it just, I just want somebody to listen, and I always want somebody to hear me. And there's a lot of things going on. I know there's a lot of guys in there, they going through thing, and there's guys is losing their life in there, but you don't never hear nothing about it. You'll never hear nothing about it. Then there's some guys committing suicide, many, and you never hear nothing about that. And see, so I made it, but they didn't. But I made it to tell you, know what's going on, because I went through the hard times of penitentiary. It was nothing easy about my journey. It was hard. And so I'm just saying that I'm blessed and I'm thankful to you all give me a chance to speak. And I just want for all those who done help me, I just want to let them know that I'm thankful to them as well.
I feel like tomorrow I want to call it Cresco Calves and Labs and Doyle and everybody else and just tell them thank you so much.
Don't forget about Ubate.
Ubate.
Yeah, that's the one that called and got me in that surgery. Bob died. And make sure, what I'm saying, because just like I said, when when I see marijuana companies, I see that they can really help people.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of good. And the only thing you got to do is just everybody start playing fair. The federal government started playing fair. The state started playing fair. Everybody started playing fair. And these cannabis people can really help them. They can really help them. And the only thing they got to do is give them the opportunity and quit playing games. And everybody want to play bully and still just giving a person an opportunity to do it, because what they done for me, they changed my life. And these are people that I should be mad with. How can I be mad with somebody that made my life comfortable and help my kids? How can I be mad at them?
Yeah.
I'm mad at
I have a question for you, Michael. There's a few people here that are on this Zoom right now that are actually in the cannabis industry in one way or another. And because you're mentioning that these cannabis companies can help, what would be the top recommendation from you for those cannabis companies to start? Where could they start?
Well, they can start. One thing, I got a thing I started called Michael Thompson Clemency Project, and if we can raise some money to get the lawyers, and I want to file some petitions to get some people out, and the only thing that's stopping it is because we don't have the money. And the one who's running that is Mike McCurry, that's in this room right now, and he come all the way from Lansing to be here with me for this moment. And Mike McCurry, you probably know him. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. He informed him, Michael Thompson Clemency Project. And if we can raise the money, then we can get the lawyers. We need the money for the lawyers to start filing petitions to start getting them guys out of there.
That's wonderful. We're going to put that link on our link tree. I know this is a different language for you, but on social media, there's actually a place for us to make it so it's really simple for any of our followers, any of our members to go on, and just a click away, we can actually send people to your charity and hopefully start raising these funds properly.
Mike, what do they have to do to get to that?
I'll hook it up right now.
Okay, you hook. Okay, he's hooking it up right now. I don't know what he's talking about.
I know, right? That's why you have him, though.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm hooking it up right now. So, hey, man, one day I'm gonna be good with these computers. I love to be good with these laptops and stuff like that. But
don't worry, Michael. We're not going to judge you because we all suck at technology. Trust us.
I couldn't even get into the meeting today.
Wow, you ain't bad as I am. But anyway, it's just that I can feel when I do things by vibe, spirit, spirit. I feel the spirit with you guys, and it's a good spirit. And I like to work with you guys, what I'm saying? Anytime you want me to speak or anytime you need me to say anything, what I'm saying? I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, what I'm saying? Just let me know, because I feel the spirit. The spirit is good. And so just call me. That's all you got to do, just call me. Call me.
I also put in the chat at freemichaelthompson.com. You can chat, send Michael a message through that way. And also there is a donate, I believe, and something like a link to a GoFundMe type of a thing. So that's
Well,
in the chat.
If you can get the companies, the marijuana family to help me free some of these guys that I've been speaking about. We've been working. The only thing, we got everything else done. All we need is the finances to get the lawyers, in the process of paper. And that expungement, I'm trying to straighten that out as well. And I need your help on that as well, because the expungement is only for if you got 3 felonies. You can, if you've been good or been on parole for 10 years, 20 years, you can't get your record clean because you got 3 felonies. That ain't right. If a person been on parole 10 years, that means he's trying to straighten his life out. That means that, he ain't trying to get in no trouble. 10 years, 20 years. Get rid of that thing about you got 3 felonies, you can't get yours expunged. If a person been off parole a certain period of time, let him go on with his life.
And, I do want to make mention that sadly, Michael was given 4 years parole.
Yeah,
So
man.
his movement and actions is still very regulated. But I promised him, as soon as he gets off parole, what are we going to do, Michael?
Yeah, you're gonna send me to that beautiful place that you got.
I'm going to take Michael to Jamaica at Coral Cove.
Yay.
Yeah.
So we've got to get that expunged or that taken off your record, or
Yeah,
because
right.
and we were going to work on getting you off your 4 years probation.
Yes, man, that's wow. It's just like every movement is being recorded. It's just like we're having white gloves on, just got it. But it's okay. It's okay though. It's okay. I'll be all right though.
You're going to have a great holiday season.
Well, one thing about this will be my first Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Okay.
My first Thanksgiving. My
A
first.
little gravy, a little stuffing, and mashed potatoes, and a nice juicy turkey. Do you like the dark meat or white meat?
Yeah, I like all meat. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
You have so much to be thankful for this year.
Yes.
I can see here that we have Vincent. Did you want to say something?
Vincent, oh yes.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Michael Miko. Today I posted on my Facebook page, as I often do, that every dispensary making money on cannabis needs to help us with the commissaries for all our pot prisoners and help pay for the lawyers, get them clemency or compassionate release. And I was calling them or emailing them, and they never answered me. So we need to keep barking up their trees till we get them all out.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wonder when is somebody gonna say enough is enough when it comes down to marijuana. Let them guys go. Release them guys. They not gonna hurt anyone. Release them guys. It don't take, if you want to play politics, why don't you find something else to play politics with? Not them, not human life. Not them. Let them go on and come out here. A lot of jobs need some workers.
Yeah.
A lot of places need employees, and those good people, quit playing politics all the time. Just quit playing politics. And just like I said earlier, all you got to do is care. That's all you got to do. If you truly care, you'll find answers. you'll find a way. It's only when you don't care, you ain't trying to find no answers.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. I think you are a motivational speaker. I think you've spoken so clearly and delivered your message and really inspired us. You know, we've always, that's been a part of our chapter, you know, for all these years. Vincent, which we just met briefly, she's been, you know, every single month bringing cards and having us send messages to prisoners and really keeping us in the loop with what's going on and how we can help. So we're so thankful to Vincent and to Dee Dee Kirkwood. She's amazing. And just thankful for you, you know, after coming out and going through all that, that you're still dedicated to helping others. That's what's really remarkable. And, you know, you're a wonderful person. And thank you so much for being here.
Okay, I appreciate it. Anytime, just call me. Call me, that's all you gotta do.
Thank you. So if you want, you can stay on or you can jump off, but we're actually gonna have Shelly, who's the new incoming executive director. She was gonna talk to us about some links and some resources, some things that we can do. I know Michael mentioned some, but she's gonna go over some that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Michael, have a good holiday season. We're so happy for you.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
be talking to you soon.
Thank you, baby. Bye-bye.
Thank you to everybody. Yes.
That was amazing. And we're so lucky to have Dee Dee Kirkwood on too. That's really cool. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for all of our prisoners and for Michael. You know, in the cannabis industry, there's many ways that we can save people's lives. You know, we can save them by, you know, giving them safer substances and taking them off opioids and alcohol. We can save them by giving them better quality life through medical cannabis. And we can also save their lives more directly by freeing them from prison. And so all three of those ways are very important. So thank you guys for everything that you do. All right, Shelly, do you want to jump on and share those resources now?
I sure will. So if you notice, I put links in the chat and I'm just going to briefly go over what those are. But, you know, I just want to also comment, you know, I think it's very important to remember all the families that have been torn apart, like Michael's, as a result of the failed war on drugs. Legalization of cannabis, it's an integral part of criminal justice reform. We have a way out of mass incarceration, and cannabis and the war on drugs has been a continuous tool for mass incarcerations. Anyone profiting from or freely engaging in the legal cannabis industry, I think, has a moral imperative to work towards restorative justice. No one should remain incarcerated or continue to suffer these collateral consequences of prohibition, which has and continues to disproportionately impact our communities of color. So, you know, I have quite a few links. The first of which is the Last Prisoner Project. That was the organization that was helped Michael Thompson with his commutation. The next is the Social Impact Center. Felicia Carbajal is involved with that in Los Angeles. They are looking for people to volunteer. They're doing an expungement clinic next month. They're doing the intake process this month. So if you're interested, click the link for the Social Impact Center if you'd like to volunteer. Then we have the Landa Prison Outreach Program, Ltop, and it's operated by Stephanie Landa, who was sentenced to 41 months in federal prison for a co-op medical grow in the city of San Francisco. It's an all-volunteer organization. So I would say just give all of these a look, you know, and just see what kind of suits you. And then we've got the Weldon Project. And that was Angelos Weldon. He was also a prisoner that was released. So they work to secure the release of those serving time for cannabis-related offenses. And then you've got the Drug Policy Alliance, which is it's an organization that, let's see, in which the use and regulation of drugs are grounded in science, compassion, health, and human rights, in which people are no longer punished for what they put into their own bodies, but only for crimes committed against others. So, you know, that goes in line with what we're talking about tonight, that nobody sitting in jail should be there, especially for cannabis when we're all profiting from it now. And then I have a link to AB 1793, which was a way of expunging here in California. Prop 64, that is the regulation that we're under here in the legal industry in California. And when it was passed, that, some acts that once had been labeled as felonies were recategorized as misdemeanors, while acts that had once been labeled as misdemeanors were then recategorized as either conduct worthy of a citation ticket or no repercussion. So Prop 64 gave those with prior cannabis convictions the right to expungement. You can now petition the courts to recategorize your convictions pursuant to the new law. Though Prop 64 opened the door for mass expungement, it never offered a process to get people through that door. So AB 1793 was aimed at correcting that oversight. The passage of AB 1793 means that those with qualifying convictions in their past no longer need to petition for the court for expungement. Instead, the bill mandates that the Department of Justice review the records in the state's criminal history information database in order to identify past convictions that are eligible for dismissal or redesignation. So then the last one, it's to request your own criminal records. It's the oag.ca.gov. So within the state of California. So I think, these are all national programs, but the link to the record review and also AB 1793 applies to California only. And that's it. I think that I did find his Instagram. I'll put it in the chat as well. It's
I already did that.
Did
Yeah.
you? Oh, awesome.
So it's mtfree.2021.
Yep. Very good.
Well, yeah, make sure everybody follow that, and then we'll continue to follow his organization and and continue to like support them, because I'm just so happy that he's out, and that's just amazing. All those folks that have already kind of put so much time into it. I mean, I would want to kind of like never look back, but these folks are just continuously working towards freeing their brothers and sisters. So whatever we can do on the outside to help them, is what we should do. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you for sharing those links. And again, they're all in the chat, so you guys can actually save the chat. I'm actually going to put some links in towards the end. I'm going to talk about the Anaheim and Huntington Beach initiatives that were filed. So I'm going to link those as well. So make sure, like I said, before you guys sign off, that you save all that information, follow all those sites. Those are great resources. Thanks for putting those together. All right. And then with that, let me see if I can share the screen. Where's the agenda? There it is. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. So again, I want to get to those 2 city measures and tell you guys some of the details that I read through. So we're going to kind of go a little bit quicker through this stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that we kind of want to tell you guys about because it was so, we did a lot in this last month. So I'm going to begin and then I'll have Jackie share a couple updates as well. So just this last weekend, a couple of us, Bill, Anna, Jackie, and I were able and lucky enough to be able to travel to San Francisco and attend the 25-year celebration of Prop 215 in San Francisco. It was so amazing. It was so nice. It was a different conference than I've ever been to. They just invited all these guys who had been, instrumental in getting this passed, in 1996 to come and speak and kind of, tell their story and set the timeline for, how this bill progressed from like inception to passage to implementation to fighting in the courts to like straighten out all the rules and stuff like that. It was just amazing. It was really cool hearing some of like the backstory, the behind the scene things, like things that we never knew. And I mean, they started talking about this movement, like in the context of like the early 90s. So, we got to like hear stories about before they even legalized, and just got to meet a lot of really cool guys who, changed the fate of history forever. And a lot of these folks, these guys hadn't seen each other in like 20 or 25 years. So that was really neat too, and pretty much everybody was there from back then. It was really cool. There wasn't very many people except for some of our own team that we're missing that I couldn't really think of that wasn't there. So it was really, really neat. I was really glad that we got to be there. It's amazing that it's been 25 years since Prop 215, and then also it's been 5 years since SB or Prop 64. So time moves quite fast. Time moves fast. So that was really neat that we got to be part of that. I also want to let you guys know that we're not going to be having a normal meeting in December. As always, for the last 18 years, we're going to take that month off so you guys can celebrate with your families. And we're going to be doing a lot of meetings and organizing and stuff like that for the next year. Also, we're talking about having a possible holiday party. So just keep an eye out on your emails for that so you can attend and we can celebrate. We are also going to be holding elections in January. Elections now are going to be done by the board. We're also reorganizing the board. If you want to be on the board, if you would like to run or to be like a deputy to one of the board members, please reach out to us so we can make those decisions like in January, and we'll let you guys know what the outcome is. I also wanted to welcome and thank Crystal Butler. I don't think she's on this call today. She works in the evenings, but she is our new events officer, our new board member who's the director of events. We're going to officially vote her in January, but she did help us with this last 420 bingo event, and she was really great. So we're really happy to have her on. So I just wanted to welcome her to the board. And then I'm just going to talk a little bit about MJ Unpacked, and then I'm going to hand it to Jackie, who's going to talk about the other Vegas event. So just a couple weeks ago, we had our Cannabis Week in Vegas. There was 2 simultaneous events, MJ BizCon, sort of directed towards like the whole industry and like nationwide. And then there was another event called MJ Unpacked, which actually was, Jackie told me today, one of the guys who used to be part of BizCon split off and had put together his own conference. And what was nice about MJ Unpacked was it was actually more focused on brands and retailers. Whereas like MJ BizCon is like the whole industry, like cultivation, manufacturing, hemp, like everything you can imagine. It's like ancillary services are like a big focus, where like MJ Unpacked was different. It was really, the panel spoke to like how like cannabis businesses can work better, like consumption lounges, selling, branding, you know, opening in different municipalities, you know, competing against the land of the giants, you know, all these huge multi-state operators and stuff. So it was really interesting. So I really enjoyed that one. And that's the conference that I attended. Jackie was lucky enough to attend MJ BizCon. So if you could give us a couple words about that, Jackie.
Hi, perfect. So yes, as Candace said, MJ BizCon had actually celebrated their 10-year anniversary. They actually have had 10 years of these conferences, bringing people from all over the world to build cannabis or hemp businesses within their states and even their countries, because they're learning and they're getting advice from other consultants at the same time. So most of the time people are going to this event and they're expecting to pitch their business idea and find some type of money to come in, and sometimes they luck out. They're at this particular one, since they didn't get to have an event last year because of COVID, they really went strong. They had a lot of incredible panels that if you wanted to join, it actually went from, it was October 19th to October 22nd. So there was like 3 days full jam-packed of either walking the 250,000 square foot facility of the Las Vegas Convention Center, where they had over 1,000 exhibitors. So like Candace was saying, it's an ancillary. Ancillary means you're not just going to find cannabis businesses, but you're also going to find all of the side businesses that those cannabis businesses need to survive, whether that's a packaging company, a lighting company, plant protein company, any type of growing materials, of course, hemp, because hemp still exists. And with AB 45, and it's going to be pretty much everywhere in California too. So there is a lot of really good new energy in the air. If you've ever been to any of these conventions, whether it's a CBD Expo that's local at like the Anaheim Convention Center, or you go and you're lucky enough to be a part of something that's as big as this, where sometimes there's about like 30,000 people that attend MJ BizCon, it's a passion in the air that you really can feel. And what's really exciting about MJ BizCon, because it has been around for 10 years, a lot of people in the industry sometimes don't even go to the convention anymore. So they almost call it Vegas Week. It's like Vegas Cannabis Week. They have all these brands, instead of spending tens of twenties of thousands of dollars on getting a booth at the convention center, they actually will spend that amount of money on an after party. And they'll invite all of the people that they want to actually network with to that specific after party. So what's really interesting about this Cannabis Week in Vegas is that from 9 in the morning till the sun comes up, you're going to have an opportunity to meet and network and see all of your friends that you've actually met and joined into business opportunities with through the years. That was really nice to see even that grow. They had an event called the IRL event, in real life. And that was really interesting because a lot of people were meeting each other for the first time because we really only know each other digitally. And especially through COVID, having all of the expos be digital, it was even more of a personal experience because through those digital conventions, we're actually able to make a lot of business networking opportunities happen. And then you're able to see these people in real life. And it was really exciting. And I encourage everyone to just Google cannabis convention and go to it. You know, they don't have to always be in Vegas. There's always something to learn. And I know when I used to work the booth, I worked the booth a couple of years in Vegas for MJ BizCon. And a lot of the attendees would say, like, they're so excited and there's so much sensory overload, they don't know where to start. And what I say is you can learn just as much from the people in front of the booth that you can from the people behind the booth. And that just goes to show the network is everywhere. The network is here with Orange County NORML. The network is within Last Prisoner Project. The network is with any of these conventions that you go to. Always look to your left and your right and introduce yourself. And that's how these networks get built. And that's what makes the energy at MJ BizCon so exciting, is everybody is somebody that you need to know and you should know and you want to get to know. So I think that was really exciting. I had a great time. And it's Vegas, guys. Come on, how can it be wrong? But yeah, I had a great time with that. And then I also wanted to talk about the 420 bingo that we had, because it was an incredible opportunity to get together. Last year we did the 420 bingo and we only had a small group and a lot of other people joined in virtually. So this was nice to bring in our whole crew and a lot of our OG members to enjoy the bingo live experience once again. And we had it at this really neat taco place called Taco Tumador in Anaheim. And it's actually a 420 friendly. I don't want to say that too loud from the rooftops, but it's a really great restaurant that welcomes our community. And they serve an incredible Mexican food. And I think that we're going to have a really good relationship with them because the owner of the company actually wants us and is going to allow us to have our monthly meetings there moving forward. So when we start doing live meetings again, we're going to be able to do, there you go, tacos, tomatoes, yes. And so we're going to be able to actually have our meetings there and have other events there in the future. Crystal Butler, the one that Candace was mentioning, that's going to be in charge of headlining a lot of the new events coming up. She even mentioned wanting to do a paint and puff. We did a couple of paint and puffs through the years, and it would be really nice to have an opportunity to do something like that, whether it's going to be at another location or at that taco place. It's good to know that we have a community building and we have a location that's going to welcome us. And it had a pretty big, back patio spot, so we can fit a good amount of people there. And I encourage everybody to just continue to follow us and tune in, because when we have events, not only you're going to be able to have fun and win some cool swag, but you're also going to be able to hang out with people that are passionate about this community, learn about how you can help patients, learn about how you can help the POWs that are still stuck in prison and jail, and really just learn about how much work we still have to do. Everybody says legal cannabis. It's not legal. So there's still a lot of fighting that we have to do. And even within Prop 64, me coming from compliance, working within the industry for vertically integrated, meaning they do everything type of company, it's a heavily overregulated industry. We still have to learn about how to be more sustainable. There's a lot of fight that can be fought in a lot of different areas, and not all of it is plant touching. So, be inspired. And when you come to these events, that's kind of what you get to learn. And again, network. Everybody, turn to your left and your right. Like, not right now, because no one's in my room. But when you're at these events, you definitely can look to your left and your right, and you could be inspired and make connections. So I just want to say, like, I'm always happy to be a part of this. And listening to Michael Thompson, it just always reinvigorates me. You kind of get a little bit jaded. I mean, speaking personally, working in the industry, you have your ups and your downs, and it's super tough. And it's really easy to lose focus. And having moments like this that we had with Michael Thompson really reminded me about what my focus is. And I'm just so grateful to be here, especially for that interview. So thank you. But that's my time.
Very well said. Thank you, Jackie. That's great. And this is, you know, me and Jackie's probably one of our last meetings leading this group. So, you know, I'm glad that you got to, you know, share your feelings and stuff. I'm, you know, just really excited about where this chapter is going to go. And, you know, even though we're not going to be leading the meetings and like the executive director and deputy anymore, we're still going to be part of this group and you'll still see our face a lot and stuff. So we're not changing. We're just like growing and like reorganizing. So I'm just really excited about this. And thank you for those nice words. All right, so moving down the agenda, now we're going to talk about news and updates. Last month, we talked about all the legislation that the governor signed, and then this month I decided to bring it a little bit more local. And actually, it's very timely because just a couple days ago, we actually got an email from our past speaker, from Dustin McDonald, and someone submitted a paperwork for a ballot measure in Anaheim for cannabis dispensaries. So I'm going to talk about both those ballot measures. I looked over them briefly and I kind of pulled out some of like the main components. I also put into the chat the HB notice to circulate. And then the Anaheim one is uploading right now. It's like a large file, so it's going to take some time. But make sure if you live in any of those cities or if you're interested in any of those cities that you do go into the chat and you download that. So you can take a look at it yourself. So first of all, the Huntington Beach Initiative was filed first, and we believe that that was probably Catalyst, who's the party behind that. But we still haven't confirmed with the attorney. But looking at the two initiatives, because I just read through both of them briefly, like before I got on the meeting here, they're wildly different. So they're not filed by the same attorney. These are different parties completely behind the two measures. So that was like the first thing that struck me. So I'm going to start with the Huntington Beach measure first, because that was filed first. They requested their title and summary, is what the procedure is called. You request your title and summary, you have your notices to comply with the law, and then you also give them the full text of the law that you want to circulate the petitions for. And in there, you always kind of like give like a recommended title, like what you're calling it. And a lot of times the city will just agree with you, but they have, I think, like a 45 or 30-day period after you submit this request for them to give you a title, and then like a summary, which is like, I think it's like a 500-word statement that they've crafted out of your initiative that will go onto your ballot forms. So they give you all the language that you're going to put on the ballot forms. You have to make the ballot forms and you bring them back to the city. They look over them and make sure it's legal and correct, and then they stamp it. And then you could go to the press, and then you can have all your ballot measures printed, just so you guys kind of know. So anyways, with this Huntington Beach measure, the initiative called it the Huntington Beach Cannabis Taxation and Regulation Act. The proponents of this Huntington Beach bill are Joseph Thomas Flexen, Flexen, and Eric Almonte. So I don't know if anybody's ever met those two gentlemen, but those are the two residents that are putting their name and address on this initiative. The request for a title and summary was sent in on 9/29 of 21, and that they were also authorizing Ryan Fisher to be the communication officer. So I don't know if anybody knows Ryan Fisher, but that's the person that was hired that will now communicate with the city on behalf of them. For manufacturing, cultivation, and distribution, they want to keep it in the industrial zones. For retail, they want to put it in the commercial zones. They don't have any set number in the actual initiative, but they are tying it to actually a formula, which is what we did in Santa Ana from our initiative anyways. They want to allow one retail dispensary per every 19,000 residents. So Shelly, do you know how many residents are in Huntington Beach by any chance, just because you live there? Or Robert? I would guess probably like 100,000 at least, I would say. So probably 5 to 6 dispensaries we're looking at. And then all the other uses, manufacturing, cultivation, distribution, there's only going to be a limit of 10 of all those combined. So they didn't really like say how that kind of works out, but all the other uses shall not exceed 10. They're only allowing each applicant to have one app per each applicant. Like a person can't try to own multiple dispensaries in the city of Huntington Beach, and they even talked about like partnerships and stuff like that. Like it goes all the way back that you can only have one. The fee is pretty reasonable. It's a $2,500 fee, so they're trying to set the barrier low. Their initiative is going to be merit-based, and they actually laid out like in detail, like all the different categories and like how everything is going to be scored out and stuff like that. And then they had in there that there's going to be a 3% business tax on the licenses of their, I think it was a gross or whatever, or maybe it was net. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But there's a I think it was just a percentage of sales. So 3% of the sales is the tax that the businesses have to pay the city. So usually what the businesses do is they just tack that 3% onto the customer. So you pretty much end up paying it, but the way that it's written, it's actually on the business, it's not on the citizens. And the reason that is that you actually have to have voter approval to place a tax onto citizens and to customers. So that's why it's easier for them to just tack it onto businesses. So again, you can read through the whole initiative yourself and get some more details and stuff. It looks in the chat that everybody's saying that Huntington Beach is about a 200,000 person population. So 200,000 divided by 1,900. How many is that, guys? Help me with my math right here. So that means what? I don't think that's right. Someone do the math for me and then let me know, because I think my math is wrong. Okay, so put it in the chat if anybody did the math for me real quick, because I think my math is wrong, and let me know. So
what were the numbers again?
So they're saying the population of Huntington Beach is 200,000. And if they're going to allow one dispensary per every 19,000, then I think it's 10, right? About 10 or 11, 10.5.
Yeah, that's right. 10%. Like them, dang, they're 10%.
Yeah, so about 10.5. Cool. So that's a good number, that'll give those stores a healthy market there. I think that we've seen like in Santa Ana, when you have 30, that creates a lot of competition. So 10 is a good number. So moving on to the Anaheim Initiative, they just filed for their request for title and summary on 10/15/21, so just about 2 weeks ago. So they haven't even gotten their the response from the city yet with the actual title. This one is called the Anaheim Cannabis Regulation and Land Use Measure. The proponent is Stacy Silva. If anybody has ever met Stacy Silva, I've never met her. And what this initiative has is not any kind of tax, but there's a development agreement set between the operator and the city to cover like any kind of fees and all that kind of stuff, and community outreach plan, education, hiring, all those kind of things get worked out. This initiative also wants to use a merit system. I don't remember how much of the scoring was there, so you guys will have to look. But in their initiative, they did include a number of how many licenses they wanted in each category. So if this initiative was to pass, they would have 30 retail and delivery licenses in the city of Anaheim. There could be no more than 5 licenses to any of the same owner or corporation. They also want to allow 20 manufacturing, 20 distribution, 20 indoor cultivation, no outdoor cultivation allowed, and there's no limit on labs. And that's pretty typical. You never really see a city that has any limit, except for Lake Forest, who only has 2 and doesn't want any more. The attorney for this initiative is Brad Hertz, which is kind of interesting. That was our election attorney that OC NORML used in Santa Ana when we did our voter initiative. So that's kind of cool. And I was telling Jackie, we were his first cannabis election client. And back then, like, he's like, I have no idea about cannabis. I cannot advise you whatsoever. I can only advise you on election law because I've never worked in that area. So I've heard his name a couple times. So now he's really dipped his feet into the pool and working more regularly with us. With this initiative, they want to keep all the businesses in the industrial zone. And also what I noticed in both of the Huntington Beach and the Anaheim is that they're going to require, if it passes, that deliveries can only be done by dispensaries that are licensed in the city, or else dispensaries outside the city will have to get a business license in Anaheim to just deliver in that city. So that's something that also Costa Mesa had talked about implementing as well. So we have yet to kind of see that. in the last, I mean, they made a lot of changes in the last version. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That's something they discussed, but I don't think that they have actually implemented it yet. But I think that may be like the next wave. So for instance, like I work at pharmacy, like if we wanted to deliver anywhere in the city of Anaheim, we'd have to get a business license, which usually costs like $600 to $1,000. Sometimes it's tied to the amount of sales that you're going to make in that city. So definitely another cost, another fee that will probably be, or tax will be tacked on the patients. So that's kind of unfortunate. And that's something that I know is normal that we're against. We don't think that, you know, that any city should make it difficult for any other business to deliver within their city, because that cost really just gets passed on to the patient. So, or the customer. Yeah, so those were the main points that I had for those two initiatives. Like I said, we had originally thought that they might be done by the same person. If you guys have kind of been following the news, Catalyst has been going around and kind of, you know, stirring the pot a little bit. You know, they filed a lawsuit against Costa Mesa. There are so many ballot measures in other cities that are, you know, not willing to move forward, but there's obviously a need for it. So yeah, we'll keep you guys abreast and kept up. I haven't heard of them actually collecting signatures in Huntington Beach, even though that one was before. But if any of you guys run across anybody in Huntington Beach actually collecting, definitely let us know that they're active. Sometimes these guys just do this as like a leverage and a bargaining tool against these city council people. You know, if they're unwilling to do it themselves, they say, well, we'll come in and we're going to write the rules. Sometimes that causes them to change their opinion and to look at cannabis licensing. Sometimes they just let you go ahead and do all the hard work. Go ahead and collect all the signatures. And once you've collected them, then we can choose to adopt it. Or if not, then it can go on the ballot and we can spend a lot of money putting this in front of the voters. So that was that about those two cities. Keiko, do you want to finish this up with any events? And I have one here listed on the agenda. Oh, unmute.
Yes, this is not an event, but I just got back into town from New York, and I have a personal letter here that was sent to me with the brand new Cannabis Growers Handbook by Ed Rosenthal. So it's brand new. I think it's going to make a nice Christmas gift for anybody who's interested. And this is the follow-up to his How to Grow Marijuana by Ed Rosenthal, which I think is almost 25 years old. And this one, he has the top, you know, people in so many fields about cultivation. So I can't tell you how fun it was to open this up and get a little note from Ed.
And so we actually bought 10 copies of that at the California NORML event. So we have 10 hard copies. They're all signed by Ed and they're $45 each. So at our next in-person event, the first 10 people that want to buy a book will get something extra special. He also gives like bookmarks and like magnets and stuff like that to go with it. So thank you for mentioning that. That's an awesome plug.
Sure. I know when I opened up, I went, ah! But I just got back from New York from the Cannabis World Congress and Business Expo. And this was the 7th year. They didn't do it last year because of COVID, but it's at the Jacob Javits Center. So it's equivalent to the, you know, downtown convention center in LA. And definitely COVID situation, but it was the largest show they ever had, and it's for a couple of different reasons. It looks like access and retail will be available starting in 2023. So it was this whole full arena of people wanting to be in the industry. And I would say that New York is probably 5 to 8 years behind what we were in California. And they have, of course, 19 million residents to our 39 million residents. And while I was there, I was taken to a lot of speakeasies, cannabis speakeasies. And let me tell you, you walk in and they kind of, you know, go through this thing of checking your ID, and you immediately go into a dispensary. And the packaging is really funny because it's kind of where we were about 5 years ago. It's a labeling like an old Batman movie, pow, wow, wham. And there's no testing results on there. Why should there be? But right alongside it, there was Rove, there was Stizzy, there was all these California brands. And of course, I wanted to check them all out to see if they were actually the real brands or if they were counterfeit. But, you know, I was with a group of people. I didn't want to seem like I was being tacky. So, but you went in and it was a lounge, music playing, comfortable chairs, and people just sitting around and enjoying themselves freely. And it was really a wonderful thing to see. And this was just an elevator off the street. And there's lounges all over Manhattan now. And it's a secret little thing happening there. And this was the first time I really saw a successful cannabis week in a major city. And this was New York City. And let me tell you, COVID, if you haven't been there after COVID, the whole city is pretty decimated by businesses closing. Every other street has 4 lease, 4 rent, but there's still bustling with people, but you could just tell their businesses have dropped, but the cannabis businesses have not. So all over the city, every night there was some other party to go to. I did go by and go to the NORML formal, and they promised me that they were going to have another one. I think he said they were going to have one either in San Diego or in LA in June. So if they do, I think we should go to it. And the guys from Curve Papers, they were there because they're from New York. And they said hi because they definitely know OC NORML. So even though 3,000 miles away, there's such a notoriety in a positive way of OC NORML and people who know about the things we're doing here. And it really made me feel how small the world is, even though it's 3,000 miles away. And event-wise coming up, I do know that there is the Cannabis Business Awards coming up, and the date on that is
it the Cannabis Chamber of Commerce Awards, December 3rd?
Yes, okay, thank you. December 3rd.
People put it in Allison, our events kind of current, piggybacking with Crystal here. She just put it up there, and she also has a link too in case you guys want to vote.
Yes, and that's for voting for some of your favorite brands. And the awards is going to be held up in LA at an event that I think will be usage friendly, so to say. And so that could be a really fun one. And then another event coming up, of course, is near and dear to me. And that is going to be December 11th and 12th. And that is up in Santa Rosa, and that is the Emerald Cup.
And that's also linked in the comment section too. Great.
So I think those would be great events to go to. And I hope that everybody can get their schedule together to maybe find time to go visit one of them. And we'll miss not seeing you in December, but I know from my heart to all of yours, it's been an interesting year.
Yeah.
And I really can't wait for us to be together again at some wonderful event in 2022.
Yeah.
So 420 will be 4/20/22 this coming year.
Since we missed the 4/20/20. There's also 2 other events in December. It's going to be a very busy month. There's also Hall of Flowers.
Hall of Flowers.
December 8th through 9th. And then you have the Emerald Cup 11th through 12th. And then the NCIA conference in San Francisco is the 15th through the 17th. And then January 2nd is the OC Cannabis Awards at the Garden Grove Amphitheater. So
that was a good event. I like that event.
Yeah, and we won Orange County Cannabis Organization of the Year last year. So everybody vote so we can win 2 years in a row. So again, that is also linked. Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much. Putting in there, that is for everybody as well. So. All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for being here today. This was a great meeting. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas, and watch out for all our holiday party as well. If we can pull that together, we'll be announcing it. All right. Until next time, stay safe and be well, and see you guys soon. Okay.
Bye. Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Bye,
I do
thank you
want to
guys.
remind
Happy holidays.
everybody, there's a lot of
Thanks,
important
everyone.
links on this chat.
Yeah.
So if you want to save the chat, go to, when you open up the chat, there's a little letter, a little happy face, and then 3 dots. If you go to the 3 dots, you can actually save the chat to a file on your computer.
And I'll give you guys 1 minute here if you, in case you guys want to save it before I shut the meeting. So like she said, the 3 dots, I think that's called like ellipsis, right? The ellipsis. And then the top one says save chat. If you save it, it saves it like as a little doc on your desktop. So thank you guys again. This was really cool. Thank you, Keiko, for getting Michael Thompson to speak to us. So glad he's out, and can't wait till we can get all of our POWs out. So, all right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you guys. Oh, this is